All right, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Back from the weekend, we have a lot of stuff to talk about. We have NBA Finals, Game 4. The series is tied 2-2. Now we have some Kevin Durant rumors to talk about. It's really been buzzing, and of course, we have to talk about the Desmond Bane trade to Orlando. Very busy weekend. I'm gonna try to keep everything at least 10 minutes apiece. If we can do 10 minutes apiece on everything, three topics we have, I think we can get through them all. And yeah, if you like what I've said, like the video. If you have your own opinions, comment down below. And if you just like the vibes, consider subscribing. So we are going to talk about the game first, game 4. Very important game for both teams. Um, I don't know if I made it clear enough in my last video that I made about this series, but I think I said it at the end. I wanted to just really hone in on it and the fact that more that it didn't happen, but the other fact that the opportunity was right there. The Pacers had a chance to go up 3-1 on the Oklahoma City Thunder in Game 4 that happened last Friday. They did not do that. Oklahoma won the game 111 to the Pacers 104 in what I would call not a convincing manner, but like a I don't even want to say statement victory either. Just we're not gonna go home mentality. Down one game to three. That was sort of the vibe I got. And the Pacers throughout this game had some moments where they looked like they could do it. They really looked like they could do it. They could go up 3-1. I had some thoughts in my head like, oh my god, if they go up 3-1, Indiana's gonna be NBA champions for the first time in their franchise history in the NBA. And it didn't blow my mind, but I just sat back from it. I think it was like maybe beginning of the third quarter. I was like, or end of the second. I was like, oh my god, this could really happen. And then it didn't happen. They blew their opportunity. Before we talk about the stats and everything, I do want to talk about some narratives, expounding upon the fact that they could have gone up 3-1. I think simply for the fact that they didn't go up 3-1, um, they might have lost this series. They might have just handed OKC this series. And it was a golden opportunity to really just what's the word I'm looking for? Like enforce your will on this really good Oklahoma City Thunder team who's better than you at every metric regular season. They have the MVP. They have a deeper team, um, and they they look like their backs were against the wall. They really did. Um, and it was just the way Oklahoma was playing. The ball was snapping. Everybody was touching it. If I go look at these team stats here, or these player stats are here, I think. Let me see. Was this the game? This wasn't the game. Um, that I thought it was for Obi Toppin. He was 2 of 5 from three, but he had 6 rebounds, 17 points, the most points off the bench, almost the leading scorer for the whole team. He's the third leading scorer on the team, and he really had he really Obi Toppin had some really good defensive moments. Um, they would again they were doubling Shea like they did in Game 3. Not as hard, but more selectively, more like um, gently. They picked their spots a little more a little differently in this Game 4. I I really liked how they tried it. They tried to slow down Shea, but it really wasn't the game to do that. The extender was there, Scott Foster. If you look on your screen, he's the referee in the background right here. Notorious bad ref, and by bad ref I mean just he's a hard ass. He he calls fouls for teams that we'll say aren't supposed to win, if that makes sense. Or the league wants to win. Wink, wink. He's a big reason why Oklahoma City won this game. comparative to last game, game three, where the refereeing was pretty even the whole way through. Um, just visually watching the game, the um, the free throw battle was different this game. I think it took a lot out of the it took a lot of steam and wind out of the Pacers' sails out of, because it was refereed so different in game three and then it flipped in game four. I'm looking at the stats right now. The Oklahoma City Thunder only took, what is this? 9 more? 9 or 7? Something along those lines. Um but the Pacers shot didn't they couldn't make a free throw. They were 25 for 33 and the Oklahoma City Thunder were 34 for 38. So they they really shot the free throws well. Um to circle back for just a moment, the Pacers again, they had such a golden opportunity and I think they wasted it. I think, just talking big picture here about the rest of the series, game 5 is tonight in Oklahoma. Um I think Oklahoma City has this series. Um, do I think either, well, there's only two outcomes that are possible now, so it's really not like something for me to dwell on or think about really, but either Oklahoma City, well, no, there's three options. There's three cases, there's three scenarios that could happen. But the two most likely to me are Oklahoma wins tonight, they go up 3-2. They go back to Indiana, they lose in Indiana, it's tied 3-3, and it's a game 7 in Oklahoma. I think this goes 7 games now. I think Oklahoma wins it, but I think it goes 7 games. The other thing that I maybe could happen, the Pacers have it in. They've done it already. The Pacers could win in Oklahoma tonight, and then win in Indiana tomorrow. Win in Indiana on what would that be, like Thursday? Win in Indiana on Thursday. These are total possibilities that could happen. Um, I'm more leaning towards the same 7 game series window, but um, I, I I think I think Indiana really, I've talked about throughout multiple playoff series. There are moments in which these series can shift and turn, and sometimes it's outside factors like the refs, like anything else. But I really do think that the Pacers ruined their chance here to really just put their foot down, go up 3-1, go into Oklahoma. We know they can close out games in rivals and opponents' arenas, and they kind of they could have gone home NBA champions tonight. And I think it's gonna have to wait another week if it's even possible for Indiana to win it. I did pick against them. I did pick Oklahoma to win, but I think I just I don't see a window for the Pacers to do it anymore. Is it possible? Yes, it's complete. I'm not ruling them out of anything. I'm not taking them out of any series, especially when both teams have already got a win in each of the others' arenas. I'm not counting anybody out. No question. Let's talk about these numbers a little bit. Talk about the game a bit more in depth. For the Oklahoma City Thunder, Chet Holmgren, 14, 15 rebounds, 14 points, 15 rebounds. Did not make a three, shooting terrible from three in this series. Jalen Williams, 27, huge game for him. Shot 11 free throws, did not make a three either. They only combined in the starting lineup, they only had 2 threes made. The Oklahoma City Thunder did. Um, Isaiah Hartenstein 2, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander 35, losing Dort 6. They ran the double big lineup again. It was to a lot greater success. That being Isaiah Hartenstein and Chet Holmgren at the center and power forward position. It worked out a lot better. Um, Chet still got bodied sometimes. Um, but it worked out a little bit differently because they ran him in such a way where they knew what they knew what getting the sample size from last game to this game, the Oklahoma City Thunder knew when they could put the double bigs in, when they couldn't have them in. Um, Chet did have four personal fouls. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander had four personal fouls. Liu Zhang had four personal fouls. I think Shea and Liu Zhang was towards the end of the game, so it really wasn't that bad. Chet was more towards the beginning of the third and the middle of the third. Continuing with the numbers, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander 35, shot 10 free throws, 1 of 4 from 3, 12 of 24, 40 minutes. I think that's the most minutes he's played in this series. They needed every bit of him. He only had 2 turnovers. He had no assists. He had 3 rebounds, 3 steals, 1 block. He had some really good steals. Um, I can't quite remember what kind of steals they were, if they were off ball or on ball, but they were really good. They changed the course of the game. Losing to 6 points. Um, and then Alex Caruso. Alex Caruso has been a tank for the Oklahoma City Thunder. 20 points, made 1 3, 5 of 7 from free throw, 7 of 9 overall from field goal. They did take Kason Wallace out of the starting lineup. He did not return even for this game. I think I I'm hesitant to say it because I think they're just gonna run this double big lineup till Indiana figures out how to beat it. Well, beat it in back to back games. Um, I think Alex Caruso needs to start in this series, man. I think he's playing 30 minutes. He's getting like 20ish points. He's gonna get different looks. He's gonna play against different guys, but he's built for these moments, man. And I think if Oklahoma goes on to win tonight, they don't change the lineup. If they lose tonight, they might tweak it again. Um, but they've this is the lineup, man, for Oklahoma, and it's been great. Shea has been really good. Um, hasn't been the most efficient. Again, they're running doubles at him. They're not afraid to put bigger bodies on Shea. They're really trying to make him work, and he's overthinking some of the plays. Um, Especially this deep into the series. They only started doubling him when they got to Indiana for Game 3 and Game 4. They didn't double him before that, and it's really had to make him think. And it's not going to have the same effect in Oklahoma because the fans are going to be behind the Thunder, obviously. But I think Shea is due for a bigger game, or I shouldn't even say big game. Somebody on this team is due for a bigger game in the sense of J Dub, Jalen Williams, Alex Caruso. Somebody's due for a really good game. Um, it's just in the cards. Neither of these teams have really played their complete game that we've seen from the regular season. It's just been fighting back and forth, back and forth. And you love to see it. Do I have any notes about this Oklahoma City Thunder team? I really don't. I think I think the biggest thing is that at times in Indiana they looked so flustered. They looked so flustered that it devolved into, oh, it's your turn, my turn, his turn, their turn, and there wasn't a lot of plays being run or anything, and that works, and you win the game. But in certain moments, you're going to need to really lock in and run some plays, and we saw at the end of the first game of this series when they had to run a play with like under 2 seconds left. Shea didn't have enough time to get into his dribble and get the shot up. Um, and none of these guys were going. You need to get some of these other guys going, especially Chet. That's neither here nor there though. Chet's just so young. I'm 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 hard on him because I think there's so much more to him, but I think the moment's just too big, and he's just gonna be mid-teens guy for this whole series. Switch to the Pacers real quick, then we'll switch topics. Um, Pascal Siakam, 20 points, 5 steals, 5 assists, 1 block, 8 rebounds. He had a lot of really critical steals down the stretch. They didn't win the game, obviously, but they were important. He didn't shoot the best. 6 of 15 from field goal, 2 of 6 from three. Aaron Nesmith, 8 points. I again, I don't know if they would change the lineup, but Aaron Nesmith might have to move aside for a game, maybe. Miles Turner, 12 points. 0 of 6 from three. After I said that he really needs to start making his free threes, he made none of them. And then was it 3 for 10 from field goal? Terrible. He had 5 personal fouls, which is a terrible game for him. Andrew Nemhard 10. Tyrese Halliburton 10 points, 2 steals, 1 block. Tyrese Halliburton 5 turnovers, 18 points, 2 steals, 7 assists, 2 rebounds, 7 of 15, 1 of 7 from three. Neither of his teams are shooting well from three. If what the big key is if one of these teams gets hot from three and they can carry that momentum over at least 2 games, that's going to decide the series at this point. Literally at this point, that's what it is. Or the next couple games are just going to be grinded out games all over again. Obi Toppin 17, like we talked about. TJ McConnell 8, Benedict Mathurin 8, Ben Shepherd 3. Um, I saw a lot of positive things from the Pacers um, last game and the game before that. Um, I really like the defense they were running. I think eventually I'm hesitant to say, but I think eventually Oklahoma's gonna figure it out. There's gonna be a moment where they figure out the Pacers defense, and it's gonna be a game of adjustments for the Pacers to say, oh well, we had this thing that was working so well, and then they figured it out. What can we move on to next? Um, there might not be anything to move on to next. You might not have the personnel to do it. Um, Benedict Mathurin had a okay game after his explosion from the game previous. 8 points, 1 turnover. Didn't have it. He just didn't have it. And what else do we got here? Nothing else really. I mean, it's just so hard to call this series in the sense of like breaking it down because it's just been a chess match the whole way through. Um, give a little, take a little. Oh, we figured this out. We need to move on to this, and that. And I think I said this in my last video. I think Oklahoma has less guys that do less things, and the Pacers have less guys that do more things. But when the Pacers' less guys aren't doing those more things, they lose those games. And Oklahoma can just get by with, you know, oh, we need 20 from Alex Cruz off the bench. We got it. We win that game. Losing Dort doesn't even need to score 10. I say Hartenstein doesn't need to get 10 rebounds, 10 um, points. Chet has 15 and 14. You know, I was very critical of this game and of the game previous to this one, game three, where I was like, Chet needs to step up. That sounds so bad, but Chet needs to step up. But I said somebody needs to be that third guy, and last night or the couple nights previous on Friday, it was Alex Caruso, and that's really all I have to say about this game. Let's move on to some NBA rumors and stuff. There was a lot of talk this weekend because it came out on Saturday, later in the night around 9, 10 o'clock. Shams Charania of ESPN tweeted out, and I quote: "The Miami Heat, San Antonio Spurs, and Houston Rockets are Kevin Durant's preferred trade destination out of Phoenix." Sources tell ESPN those across the NBA have been made aware in recent days that those are the 3 teams that Durant would commit to long term. Long term being Kevin Durant's a 37-year-old. Long term being 2 more years. So be 20, 39, 40. Um, that's long term, just for the record. Not long term as in like 4 years. It's a 2 year extension, essentially. Um, and after this, it came out, there were some trickling rumors and everything about other destinations. It had come out that San Antonio is the like top preferred destination of Kevin. It had come out that maybe some teams could sneak in there. Maybe the Phoenix Suns don't really care about where he wants to go. Um, it's more of what can we get back for you. And then it came out that they are working alongside his business partner Rich Klein. I think it's Klein or Kleiman, longtime business partner of Kevin Durant, serving as his pseudo agent. Um, they're working closely with him. there's a whole bunch of stuff out there. I do want to name a couple more teams that were floated around as sort of 1 year rental sort of teams. Um, there was the Toronto Raptors, who are familiar with 1 year rentals. They won the championship in 2019 off a 1 year rental in Kawhi Leonard, who was traded there from the San Antonio Spurs. That worked out beautifully. Um, the Toronto Raptors have also been floating out the idea of trading RJ Barrett and Emmanuel Quickly, who are both on big time deals. Could that be a route for Toronto to get Kevin Durant? I don't know. Just theorizing here. And then it was also theorized that he would go to the Clippers. And then I saw some things that was immediately shut down because the Clippers don't want to trade Ivica Zubac or Norman Powell. So it would just need to be like some combination, some amalgamation of whoever to get to Phoenix and then get Kevin to the Clippers in LA, and where the arena now is Englewood. Um, I I made a video a long while ago when their season ended, when the Phoenix Suns season ended, where I was like, I think it's Houston or San Antonio. Those are the closest to competing. Um, I could, now that I'm reading this, that Miami is a legit possibility. I could also see Miami, because how wide open the East is going to be next year. Do I like a team of, talking about the Miami Heat here? Davion Mitchell, Tyler Hero, Kevin Durant, Bam Adebayo, and Khalil Ware. Not really, but anything's possible in the East next year. There was also the idea floated around of Kevin Durant going to Minnesota, linking up with Anthony Edwards, who is a big fan of Kevin Durant. They spent a lot of time this past summer um, in the Olympics. Um, Kevin Durant is Anthony Edwards' favorite player. Um, I saw that was immediately shot down this morning as an idea. Um, so there's a lot. There's a lot of stuff floating around out there, and I'm not too sure what to make of all of it. I am very skeptical. We've been through this a lot with Kevin Durant over the last, what has it been, 8 years now since he was last with the Warriors. Is that right? I'm not even sure if that's right. It feels like 8 years, but he is a 37-year-old. I can actually see his age here too. Oh yeah, he's gonna be 30. Okay, so no, pardon me. He's 36 right now. He's gonna be 37 at the beginning of next season. Um, Pardon me, I thought he was already 37. He's gonna be 37 beginning of the next season. His birthday's in at the end of September. Um, so we've been through this a lot with Kevin. This is most likely going to be his last team. What is this? This is, let's see. Oh wait, okay, wait. One, two, three. Oh, one, two, three, 4, 5. Oh, it's only been 5 years. Damn, it's only been 5 years since he's been a Golden State Warriors. Feels like 8. Um, this is gonna be his last team, and he's gonna have to be very hopeful that Phoenix sends him somewhere nice. Who do I think has the best package? I think San Antonio has the best package in the sense of they have the number 2 pick. They have um, Stephon Castle. They have a bunch of other guys. Keldon Johnson, Jeremy Shohan. There's another guy. I always forget his name. Um, but they have a lot of guys. And that's sort of what Phoenix could look for in a trade is they want actual NBA players and they want a pick. Second pick is pretty good deal for Kevin Durant. He was the second pick back in Kevin Durant was back in um 2007 draft. Um that's correct. Yeah, 2007 draft. So it's sort of fitting maybe that he gets traded for the second pick. Um and I think Houston's a close second. Um I can understand why he wants to go to San Antonio or Houston. He went to college at Texas. Um, Loves Texas. Always talks about it. Um, and I think I just think it's so hard in this NBA, especially in the second apron NBA, to think about the future and think past next year even, like whoever gets Kevin, obviously he's if it's one of these three teams that I've mentioned, he's going to sign the extension. He's going to get 2 more years. He's going to be 39 by the time the contract's over. You can't even think that far. You just have to think right now. And I think I'm saying I think I'm a lot. I'm sorry. I really am just thinking that this is it for Kevin. And if he goes somewhere bad, he not bad. If he goes somewhere that's a 1 year rental, it's gonna be very interesting to see how that team operates and how Kevin operates under that notion that this is a 1 year deal. I even want to be here because we've seen when he doesn't want to be somewhere, he just doesn't want to be there. He still plays well, he just doesn't want to be there. um, and yeah, I think that's it. I mean, is there anything else here that I've seen? Let me see real quick. Let me poke around for one moment in my bookmarks and such just to make sure I got everything here. One moment, please. One moment, one moment. Nope, that's it. All right, let's finish this video off with a real trade that happened yesterday. First trade, well, during the NBA Finals, first trade. Um, it was a trade between the Memphis Grizzlies and the Orlando Magic. I assume the Orlando Magic reached out for this trade, and the Memphis Grizzlies did not. Um, it is a trade between Desmond Bane from Memphis going to Orlando, going to the O Zone for Cole Anthony, um, very the heart and soul of that team in Orlando, now in Memphis, and he is joined by Contavious Caldwell Pope, the big acquisition last year in free agency for Orlando, already gone after 1 year. There's some picks in here as well, 4 picks for Desmond Bane. Let me read them to you here. A first round pick in the 2025 draft, 16th overall, the first round draft pick in 2026, which includes swap rights from either Phoenix or Washington, a first round draft pick in 2028, the swap rights to a first round pick in 2029, top two protected, and a first round draft pick in 2030. So the Orlando Magic have offloaded a huge amount of their picks for Desmond Bane, who I think does increase their ceiling um, and move their floor as well. Um, Desmond Bane, not a lot of accolades under his belt, has been in the league 4 years. Um, 2020, 2021, all rookie. He was one of those picks that came out of nowhere. I believe um, he was drafted by Boston Celtics. Came onto the scene as a good defender, transformed into a good shooter. He was a good shooter in where did he go to college? At TCU. Damn, you don't see TCU a lot. Damn, and I think he fits in well with this Orlando Magic team. Um, I said in some videos, um, breaking down. I think I said it in my video where they got eliminated. They need somebody to create. They need a 3-point shooter, a dependable 3-point shooter, and they got it. And they're really gonna run a backcourt out there of Jalen Suggs, who is recovering from an injury, should be ready at the start of next season, and Desmond Bane. And then you're gonna have Franz. You're gonna have Paulo. The 5 position is a little iffy. Could be Wendell. It could be somebody new. They could make another trade, but I think this is a tremendous deal. It's a great deal for the Orlando Magic. There's been a lot of chatter. Oh, you paid 4 first round picks for Desmond Bane? Yeah, they did. I don't think it's it's a bad deal because I'm always of the school of thought, and I've said it a million times on this channel. I'd rather you go for it and it blow up in your face. At least you went for it. Then 5 years down the road, somebody's doing an interview. It's like, oh well, we could have traded for Desmond Bane. You know, like that happens all the time. There's so many stories like that. I'd rather you just go for it. Say whatever. We got a guy. We got a young guy. He's a little bit older, I think, right? He stayed in college a while. He's 26, yeah. So he's 4 years. So he would have been 22 when he came out. 22, right? Or yeah, he would have been 22 when he came out. He was an older rookie. He's a pro. Desmond Bane is a pro. For what it's worth, Desmond Bane's a pro. Um, what do they call him? I'm looking at his nicknames here. Apparently, Desmond Bane's nickname is the Flyby King. Damn, that's funny. Um, what else? Let's see Desmond Bane's season. Um, Desmond Bane last season, um, 19 points, 1 steal, 5 assists, um, almost 90% from free throw. Um, let's see, 3 point percentage 39. That's not his best year, but really good. One of the better. He's immediately one of the better shooters on this Orlando Magic team. Only played 69 games. A little bit concerning. Has never played 82 games. I'm looking at it right now. Never played 82 games. He's been a starter the past 4 years, so he's okay with starting. Um, he averages 30 plus minutes a game. You might want to bring that down a little bit to get his games up, but this is exactly what Orlando needed, man. I'm so happy for this Orlando Magic team. I talked about their jerseys that they just got. They look so clean. I believe Desmond Bane is wearing 3 on this team as well. So Desmond Bane going from number 22 to number 3. Um, let's talk about what. Let's talk about Memphis. They got back Cole Anthony, who was a pretty decent player, a bit of more of a spark plug, a bit more of a 6 man sort of guy. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to start with John Morant because John Morant is such a horrendous defender, especially the last couple years. Him and Cole in the backcourt might be nasty, nasty in a bad way, not in a good way. Um, but you get something back for you got the picks. The picks are the interesting part about this. Um, but you also got KCP, who was a vet guy coming off a bad season last season, has some championship experience. Bringing in a guy like him, notoriously, from my memory, vets in Memphis don't last very long, and they're usually pretty washed. I'm not saying KCP's washed. I'm just saying it usually doesn't work out. Um, the team's been relatively young throughout the whole run of the Ja Morant and Jaren Jackson Jr. era. And this does bring up some conversations of those two guys. Um, is this a dump of a contract in Desmond Bane to try to get a Kevin Durant? That was my thought immediately was, you dump Desmond Bane and you get back KCP, who I think it's only on one more year in his deal. He signed a 2 year deal. I'm not familiar with Cole Anthony's contract, but I assume it's not that big. And you sort of wait, or is this a blow up? Are we on the cusp of a blow up um, of Memphis, of a retooling perhaps of Memphis? Um, I don't know. I think it's something to watch though, because you don't make this trade and get back this little, and you get a lot of picks just to like be competitive or just to be okay. I don't think KCP and Cole Anthony move anything for Memphis at all. I'm gonna be quite honest. On this team, no, hell no. Um, I think. Well, here's the other thing: Jaren Jackson Jr. not being on an All NBA first team or any team, All NBA team, he missed out on a huge contract. He's going to be able to sign a less lucrative contract, which is better for the team. Not so great for Jaren Jackson, but it loosens up some money for them in the future. Um, I have a sneaking suspicion this is some sort of blow up that Memphis is going to try to do and retool. Because the West is only getting better, man. The West is better every year. Let me you can just look this up real quick, just to run through these teams real quick, and then we'll get out of here. As of today, as of recording this Monday, before Game 5, Memphis, right? They're gonna run out with Jaren Jackson, Zach Edey, who also sustained an injury. Probably will miss like I think was the first month of the season, so they're gonna have to worry about that. Jaren Jackson, KCP starting, I don't know, and then a three, GG Jackson, Jalen Wells, I don't know. Is that lineup better than any of these teams? I'm gonna run through these teams. Is it better than the Thunder? No. Is it better than the Rockets? No. Is it better than the Lakers? Ah, maybe. But the Lakers are gonna get a good center. The Lakers have been in the news a lot looking for centers. So I don't think they'll be better than the Lakers. They won't be better than the Nuggets. They might be around there with the Clippers, all things considered. Timberwolves, they might be around there with the Timberwolves, hang around. Are they better than the Warriors? No. Are they better? They were this past season. They were better than the Kings, the Mavericks, the Suns, the Trailblazers, the Spurs, and the Pelicans, and the Jazz. Are any of those teams going to be better than this Grizzlies team next year, as currently constructed? I think the Mavs would definitely be better. I think the Blazers definitely be better. That Blazers team was so good, so low key kind of good. The Pelicans could be better. Um, I don't think this moves you up any spots. Maybe up one spot in the West. This move moves you up one spot for the Memphis Grizzlies. One spot. One. That's not enough. That is not enough. That is not enough. So yeah, that's it. That's the NBA wrap up. You will get a video tomorrow about tonight's game, and then Wednesday we're going to talk about WNBA because there was a game this weekend that was very very fun to watch. I want to talk about that. There's a lot of news about the WNBA going on, so stay tuned for that. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I will see you guys next time. Cheers.